The useless player was making his debut in a match. He encountered 3 tall and muscular giant women.
Hello? You're very, large.
After exchanging greetings, they entered together. The atmosphere at the venue was extremely high because in the future, space football had become the most watched event in the universe. Every move of the star players could draw everyone's attention. Everyone took their positions and got ready. As soon as the countdown ended, the space ball shot out from the tunnel. The players quickly flashed out to seize the advantage, but the useless player just sat there watching the show.
What are you doing? Stop sitting!
What on earth was this useless player doing? Everything must start from the very beginning of the story. At that time, there was no such activity as intergalactic football. A battle between the leader of the Galactic Council, Bello, and the destroyer, Cheno, threatened to plunge the entire universe into crisis. In order to achieve victory, Cheno forged a powerful weapon called the Devourer. Its power wasn't to be underestimated. Wherever it went, everything would be reduced to ashes. As it seemed that this devil Cheno was about to win the war, Bello had to summon the miraculous Flash Warrior. He successfully defeated Cheno. However, Cheno's ship crashed into the moon, causing the moon to break apart. Cheno escaped in a lifeboat penetrating the Earth's core and became trapped deep underground. The Flash Warrior decided to seal him away, but with the moon destroyed, the Earth's environment drastically changed. Disease and suffering swept across the globe. Technology regressed back to the medieval era. The Galactic Council sought help from the civilized universe. With their assistance, humans on Earth barely got back on track. It is worth mentioning that when Cheno fell into the Earth's core, he lost several segments of the genes he had created. These genes scattered across various places, leading to the birth of numerous flash-powered super beings in the galaxy. Cheno, trapped in the Earth's core, didn't lose hope. He always wanted to return, hiding underground to create more devourers and continue his destruction. However, the head of the Galactic Council discovered the flaws of these devourers. As long as those with super abilities hit them 5 times in succession, they could drain the devourers of energy, rendering them useless scrap metal. So Bello built a large stadium directly above Cheno's prison. He used a special machine to extract the devourers from the Earth's core and packaged them as footballs. Then he gathered the children with flash abilities to form several teams to compete against each other. Every day, they treated the destruction of the Devourers like a football match. Bello also stepped in as the head of the Galactic Space Football League. Of course, to prevent public panic, they didn't reveal the true purpose of the matches, only presented it as a purely entertainment activity, and organized a live broadcast across the universe, making it a huge success. The entire galaxy was watching the matches here. Everyone in the universe loved space football. While Cheno became a relentless ball-making machine, he also hid a secret weapon, a space egg that could hatch into a star beast. To successfully hatch this egg, he needed to find the original gene. Anton was the carrier of the original gene. However, the gene was recessive and needed to be activated to be extracted. So Cheno created a daughter of his own to create danger around the main character, in hopes of triggering the main character's awakening to reclaim the gene sequence. Unfortunately, each attempt ended in failure. As a result, Anton faced constant disasters, becoming notorious as the local unlucky guy. Cheno told his daughter to stop scaring Anton and just kill him to extract the genes. Anton was solely focused on finding a job to support his family, but humans only cared about the space football matches. Food and drink were all distributed collectively, and no one wanted to work. Day by day, they relied on watching matches to get by. Anton tried to persuade them kindly but was met with collective rejection.
Electricity for only an hour a day, barely any food, and all you care about is cosmo.
Anton was just a teenage boy, and like all Earthlings, he had a crush on the team captain, Natasha. This blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl was no ordinary person. She had just finished a match. Natasha was knocked down by an opposing player, losing her mechanical guard. Although she quickly linked her armor to make a comeback, she still lost a point. During halftime, Bello stepped in to extend the time. Everyone was unaware of what had happened, but in reality, during the extraction of the Devourer, they encountered Cheno's counterattack. He not only destroyed the extraction machine but also killed 2 officials from the Galactic Council. Even so, the survivors held on for dear life to complete the final extraction process, successfully transmitting the Devourers to the field. The space football matches, seemingly entertaining the masses, were actually filled with danger everywhere. However, Natasha and her teammates didn't disappoint everyone. She turned the tide and leveled the score, helping the Earth team advance to the finals. However, due to a shortage of players, the Earth team was recruiting new members. Such a lively life felt so distant from Anton. Even though this planet was filled with useless people, he was the most useless of them all. He would never have any connection with Natasha. When Anton returned home, He found his mother lying on the floor. She had been affected by the original gene during her pregnancy and had been plagued by a mysterious illness. Anton worked so hard to find a job just to help his mother get treatment. With no job and no money, Anton had to take the risk of stealing medicine from a pharmacy, but he couldn't break the glass at all. Just then, a beautiful girl appeared and successfully smashed the glass door. The girl nimbly broke open the safe, and Anton, bewildered, followed her to steal the medicine. He also grabbed an energy bar that he could never afford. At this moment, the police arrived at the scene. The girl opened the back door and led Anton to escape. Two police officers followed closely behind in hot pursuit. The girl agilely climbed up to the second floor, and Anton struggled to keep up with her speed, but he slipped and fell under the shed. He darted back and forth in the porch, dodging the two clumsy officers. The girl grabbed a vine and swung down to rescue Anton. She bent a small tree, launching Anton across to the opposite building. The two of them squeezed through a window and continued their escape. They squeezed into a small space, not daring to make a sound, but Anton was startled to find a lizard next to his ear. He jumped in shock and couldn't help but shout. As a result, it attracted the attention of the two police officers. The girl was so angry that she wanted to hit him, but Anton signaled her to hide well. He decided to go out himself to divert the police. Taking advantage of their distraction, Anton dashed toward the side door only to face an oncoming truck. In that critical moment, he finally activated his super ability gene. He teleported just in time to avoid the collision. Bello received the news immediately, learning that a new super being had emerged. Anton was taken underground by the girl. This was her secret base known to no one else. The girl introduced herself as Valaya. She had been taking care of her father, and she really disliked space football. Upon hearing this, Anton felt she was like another version of himself. He began to like her more and more, but he had to hurry home to bring the medicine to his mother, so he hurriedly said goodbye to her. As soon as Anton left, Valaya transformed back into Cheno's daughter. The driver who had knocked into Natasha was also her. This encounter had been a complete setup from the beginning. However, Valaya's intentions were good. After all, she didn't follow her father's orders to kill Anton. She just took a few strands of his hair. Cheno immediately extracted the original gene to inject into the monster egg, but the gene content from a few strands of hair was not enough. Cheno flew into a rage.
And you didn't kill him.
I did what I could. The proto-gene is activated now.
What's the matter, my daughter? Have you grown weak?
No, never.
If Bello gets his hands on him, then we'll have lost everything.
Cheno warned Valaya to quickly kill Anton. Meanwhile, the main character ran home excitedly, only to find the public goddess Natasha standing in his living room. Several other players in Bello were also there. They invited Anton to join the Earth team. Of course, he refused to agree because he didn't like space football and needed to stay home to take care of his mother. To his surprise, two police officers showed up at the door. Bello instantly froze them. Then he offered an enticing condition. I can find a way to cure your mother's illness. Upon hearing this, Anton immediately agreed to join. So he was taken to the stadium spaceship. This place was crafted entirely by Bello and was actually a living organism. Its design was inspired by the dandelion on Earth. After disinfection and safety scans, Anton officially entered the building. Bello collected samples of his genetic material and then fused it with a microchip, which created a biotechnological device that was a perfect match. This was the robotic guardian connected to the player's nerves. Bello then took Anton to the training ground. They started with a ball that had the smallest charge. Although Anton had awakened, he couldn't yet control this ability of flashing, so his performance was quite clumsy. To help him get the hang of it quickly, Natasha held Anton and used high-frequency flashing to help him familiarize himself with the sensation. The male players launched a wave of small charge balls. To everyone's surprise, Anton actually had amazing talent. He caught the charge balls 5 times in a row with his hands. With just a little guidance, he could definitely become the best goalkeeper. Bello realized that Anton's genes were very different from others, so he decided to let him play in the match tomorrow. After saying this, Bello called Natasha to leave with him. He quietly murmured, "Unluckily, we can't save his mother." Anton's expression changed drastically upon hearing this. What he didn't know was that Bello hadn't finished yet. Although higher civilizations are unwilling to share knowledge with underdeveloped nations, Bello noticed that Anton's flashing ability far exceeded that of all the players. He didn't want to lose such an amazing goalkeeper, so he fought against all odds to convince the other stakeholders to agree to use advanced medicines to save Anton's mother. However, Anton was unaware of Bello's good intentions. While he was deep in thought, he received a confession from the goddess. "If I'm not mistaken, this is your first time meeting, right?" Natasha followed Anton home to check on his mother and even took the initiative to examine her. He sat in the corner, gloomy and withdrawn. Suddenly, a blond little boy poked his head out of the window. He asked, "Are you Anton?" A big sister named Valaya is looking for you. Anton immediately went to the secret base to see her, thinking that Valaya might be in some trouble.
You aren't wearing pants. I mean, that's cool if you don't want to wear any.
It was obvious that Valaya was trying to seduce him, yet she was wearing a player's uniform. Seeing that things were exposed, Anton decided to share his troubles with her. Those people were two-faced and had no intention of saving his mother at all. Valaya pulled out a type of poisonous pod that could poison all the plants inside the stadium from then on, there would be no more space football, and people wouldn't have to look up at the sky to watch the matches. Anton was worried that this thing wouldn't pass the security check. Valaya pretended to retract her hand, and they fell together in their struggle. Anton was immediately tempted by her. In this critical moment, the small robotic guardian brought Natasha over. It pulled Anton away from Valaya. When the two women met, tension filled the air. Valaya deliberately kissed Anton goodbye in front of Natasha and then stuffed the poisonous pod into his hand. Natasha took Anton back to the stadium spaceship. By the way, those two police officers were quite diligent, and they actually chased them all the way to the stadium entrance. However, they didn't have permission to enter. Anton nervously passed through the security check, holding the poisonous pod. To his surprise, he actually made it through. The next day, the match officially began. Anton quietly tucked the poisonous pod into his shorts. He was sweating profusely and completely missed Bello's motivational speech. Soon, the armor was also ready, connecting with their respective owners and transforming into the most fitting uniform state. Anton excused himself to go to the restroom to break away from the team, then removed his handgear and tossed the poisonous pod onto the ground. The purple slime quickly seeped into the ground. Anton rejoined the team as they prepared to face the Amazon team today. It was a team made up of giants. They could lift the strong Anton effortlessly with one hand. After greeting each other, the teams entered together. As a newcomer to the team, he received a warm welcome. Once both teams were ready, they launched their attacks immediately. Only Anton crossed his legs and sat down. No matter how intensely the others played, he remained unmoved. This left the commentators, audience, and players confused, not understanding what this guy was doing. The audience, frustrated, began to boo. Bello intervened to stop the match, claiming that the new player encountered a technical glitch. Bello wanted to take Anton off the
I'm not going anywhere. You lied to me. You said you were going to help my mom, and that was all just a lie.
See for yourself, Anton. Bello got official permission from the council to use extraterrestrial medicine. She's already better.
Field and led Anton away from the field, showing him piles of discarded devourers. He explained the hardships behind the stadium. We're not here to entertain the masses, but to use the matches to save the Earth. 20 years ago, Cheno invented the original gene. It was a combination of fused gene cells that made the devourers he created unstoppable. We fought with all our might to defeat Cheno. Now he is imprisoned beneath the stadium. If it weren't for the efforts of the players, he would have escaped to the surface using the devourers long ago. Upon hearing this, Anton quickly asked, "Then you let the fans run above the dungeon? Isn't that dangerous?" Bello reassured him, "You don't need to worry about that. The entire dandelion-shaped spaceship acts as a force field protective shield. As long as it is there, the audience will be safe." Upon hearing this, Anton turned and ran. He needed to quickly retrieve the poisonous pod. If the stadium was truly destroyed, the fans here would be in danger, and Cheno might also escape and cause trouble. However, the virus had already taken effect, rapidly spreading throughout the stadium. Anton ran to the stadium, shouting that it was infected. "Everyone, hurry and run." Bello was the first to sense something was wrong. Upon hearing this, he quickly acted to seal off the vine of the pod. However, this toxic plant was exceptionally resilient. The protective shield over the audience was about to collapse. Alarms blared in the venue to evacuate the crowd. People looking up at the stadium from the ground quickly noticed that the dandelion was rapidly disintegrating, catapulting the audience out of the arena. However, an elderly couple was entangled by the vines, and the stadium was about to collapse and crush them. Natasha rushed over to help, but the machine controlling the devourers was also damaged by the vines. The giant players noticed in time and delivered a powerful kick to it, but a single strike was not enough to drain its energy. A massive explosive wave was about to hit Natasha. Anton hurriedly flashed over to save her. Fortunately, he managed to rescue Natasha without incident. The elderly couple also escaped safely. However, Cheno launched the devourers once again, attempting to blow open the stadium and break the seal. Seeing this, Anton charged forward, ready to deliver 5 consecutive strikes to destroy it, but unexpectedly, he couldn't hold on by the 4th strike. In a critical moment, Natasha shielded Anton and delivered a beautiful final blow. The devourers ran out of energy and became scrap. Cheno's hopes were once again shattered. In any case, the stadium was saved, and the devourers didn't escape either. Anton gained everyone's recognition because of this, of course. They didn't know that the poisonous pod was actually planted there by this guy. Anton felt very guilty inside. He locked up the small robot and immediately returned to the surface to confront Valaya. As soon as he arrived, he was hit by toxic mist. Valaya transformed back into her true form right in front of Anton and turned her arm into an extractor. However, before she acted, she had something to say.
There isn't a single being in the entire universe who knows you better than I do. It's me who brought every one of your troubles upon you. Falling objects, the ground splitting beneath your feet. I was the one who placed a box of lizards by your bed while you slept, and ever since you feared them.
If Anton had successfully destroyed the stadium, I could have spared his life, and we could have been happy together, but unluckily, Anton disappointed me once again. After saying this, Valaya stabbed a probe into Anton's forehead, collected a bunch of genetic material, and rapidly transmitted it back to her father. This time, Cheno finally succeeded. The star beast hatched from its shell. Cheno jumped onto it in a very bizarre manner, diving into the star beast's head and forcing it to recognize him as its master. On the other side, the small robot achieved great success. It welded open the wall that had trapped it and made its way over. It healed Anton's wounds but ended up shutting down due to excessive energy consumption. When Bello and Natasha arrived, Anton had successfully awakened. However, Bello immediately recognized the poisonous pod and realized that Anton was the culprit. Suddenly, a familiar voice came from a hidden door on the side. Bello opened the door to find it was an image of Cheno. He referred to Bello as the creator. Natasha was about to ask what was going on when a loud bang suddenly echoed through the sky. Bello had no time to explain much and hurriedly took Natasha away from the underground. At this point, Cheno had already taken control of the star beast, successfully breaking through the core seal, and tirelessly continued his plan for world destruction. The Devourers would soon sweep across the globe. With things having come to this, Bello could only turn on the broadcast to tell the citizens the truth behind space football. This is not just a game but a crucial war. After finishing his statement, Bello piloted the ship to report to the committee. To his surprise, Natasha followed him, asking, "Why does Cheno call you the creator?" It turned out that this great demon was created by Bello. Although he originally intended to create a cosmic protector, the result was that it grew increasingly twisted, turning into the Russian version of Thanos. Cheno's reserves of Devourers were ready, and he immediately deployed them to Earth. The Kickers Alliance quickly flashed into the sky to defend the Earth. They formed groups to prevent the Devourers from entering the city. At this moment, Anton was still blaming himself. His ignorance had caused the small robot's demise, putting everyone in danger. Seeing that the Kickers Alliance was about to give in, Bello led the Galactic Fleet to surround the Star Beast. Countless warships fired together, immediately trapping the Star Beast. However, Cheno activated his flashing ability, instantly breaking through the fleet's defenses. The Star Beast was like a playful husky, flashing around and destroying every warship in its path. At this point, only Bello remained standing. The Kickers Alliance had also been breached by the Devourers. Buildings on Earth were being severely damaged. Only then did Anton stop his self-pitying mode. He touched the scar on his forehead. Wanting to be the Russian Harry Potter, he prepared to rush to the battlefield to save the world. But his mother insisted that Anton eat first, and only then could he leave. Fortunately, Anton wasn't dazed by the food, but focused on activating the robot to quickly support his comrades and save those helpless compatriots. The police were also not wasting time but were busy evacuating the crowd. At this moment, Anton was hit by a Devourer, transforming him into a Super Gaia. The armor quickly connected with its master. Anton flew into the sky to continue the battle. This time, he was fully charged with energy and could kick the Devourers to pieces with a single blow. Truly, as the savior, he was incredibly powerful. Meanwhile, Bello handed the ship over to Natasha, planning to confront Cheno alone. However, Natasha hugged him, and then both flashed into the body of the Star Beast. Bello removed his human disguise and transformed back into his original form. He looked like a short Cheno with albinism. The two exchanged only a few words before starting to fight. Natasha also officially engaged in battle with Valaya. However, she was no match for the alien creature. The aging Bello was also struggling more and more in the fight. It seemed that during these 20 years of confinement, Cheno had been secretly working out and never gave up. Bello could only launch an iceball attack in an attempt to completely freeze Cheno. Valaya transformed into Natasha's appearance and used toxic mist to ambush Bello. Cheno thawed out and tightly choked Bello. In a critical moment, Anton finally arrived in space. He flashed into the body of the Star Beast, capturing the nearest Valaya. However, Anton underestimated Cheno's ruthlessness. Valaya was nothing more than a tool to him. Anton was stuck to the inner wall of the Star Beast and found it hard to move. At a critical moment, Bello created a freezing ball to draw attention but was pierced by Cheno's tentacle. Abandoned by her father, Valaya quickly told Anton, "This place is made up of your genes. Hurry and connect with the Star Beast." Anton closed his eyes to sense it. The Star Beast was initially very agitated, but soon realized that Anton, like itself, possessed the power of the original gene. The Star Beast completely switched sides and fought alongside Anton, even shedding a tear in its grievance. Cheno tried to regain control of the Star Beast, but instead was trapped in its brain by the creature. He made the same mistake that Bello had made years ago and fell victim to the very creature he had created. The Star Beast threw Cheno towards the exploding devourers and controlled all the energy orbs on Earth, successfully resolving the crisis. Although this great battle cost Bello his life, humanity finally welcomed peace. Natasha took over Bello's position. The Star Beast also helped Anton piece the moon back together. A once useless person reached the peak of his life, achieving success in both career and love, and lived a blissful life with the goddess Natasha. The film ends here. It follows the standard structure of a Hollywood blockbuster, except for the fact that the male lead's intelligence is a bit lacking, and that the weapons created by the enemy can be easily destroyed with a kick, and the giant creature being too cute. There don't seem to be any major issues. Considering that the film is relatively old, the special effects are actually quite impressive, especially in several scenes of the cosmic football matches. The motion lines are smooth and the techniques are mature. The fight scenes are not awkward either. Perhaps the budget was spent on this aspect. The design of the alien special effects is somewhat rough, which looks like a few naked earthlings painted with body art.